Hi, Brennan. My name is Miss Corvo, and I just want to say thank you so much for letting me read your Westward expansion paper. You did an awesome job on providing such great information and so much detail on the topics that you were writing about. I noticed that you're the type of writer that is able to make and structure a plan. And by this, I mean you did a great job narrowing down your topic into 7 different sections using headings. And this created great structure within your writing. This is so important because having this structure and detail is helpful for your readers to understand and follow along with what you're writing about and what you're trying to teach them. And you did a great job with this. Now, your teacher and I have been thinking about you as a writer, and we think that the next step for you as a writer is to find and correct your writing. So, by this, I mean find and correct spelling errors within your writing. So we're going to talk about a skill called circle and spell, and this will help find and correct the spelling errors within whatever writing that you're going through. So the skill is circle and spell. And by this, we are going to use a strategy. And the strategy kind of needs you to pay closer attention to what you're writing and where you're having trouble with any spelling. So as you're writing, if you realize you don't know how to spell a word, you can't sound it out, or you're unsure, just write it as the best you can and then circle it. That way you can come back to it later. If you come across where you have to write that word again and you're still unsure, you can either circle it or underline it or highlight it, whatever you prefer. And then once you go through your paper and you're done writing, make a list of all the words that are circled or underlined or highlighted, and then ask a partner or a teacher for the correct spelling for those words. And if that's unavailable, you can always try and use more resources such as an iPad or a computer or friends, family, who knows, whatever resources are available for you, do what you can to find those correct spellings. And then once you found the correct spelling of that error, return to your draft and make those changes. So on this slide is a screenshot of your paper. And one of the first words that I've noticed that had an error was destiny. And within the paragraph underneath it, had 3 different errors. So instead of circling each of those errors, I underlined them just because it makes my paper look a little more neater rather than having a bunch of circles around it. You can do whatever is easiest for you and what makes you comfortable and what you prefer. So, and the next slide is also going to be a screenshot of the next page of your paper, which also had a couple errors, spelling errors. So I circled those. And then once I was all done reading through your paper, I made a list of those misspelled words. I wrote mine on a sticky note, and you could write yours in a writer's notebook or on your writer's notebook or a sticky note, whatever you prefer. So I'm going to ask you guys I'm going to ask you if you can get out a piece of paper, a notebook, or a sticky note, whatever you want, and a writing utensil, because we're going to write down the words that are misspelled in the writing. So here is a list of the misspelled words that I found in your writing. And like I said, you can write them down on a sticky note, you can write them down on a piece of paper, a notebook, notepad, whatever you want. But I'm going to give you a couple seconds to write these down. Okay. Now on the next slide, I have the misspelled words and the corrections. And I want you to write down the correct spellings next to or on the same paper that you had wrote down those words. So for instance, I have a sticky note that has my incorrect spellings on one side with a little arrow pointing to the correct spellings. I like to use sticky notes just because I can stick them in my notebook and I know where they are next time I need them. And they're super accessible if I need them for writing on different paper. And for you, if you want to, you can keep this in your folder, your notebook. If you have it on a sticky note, you can place it on your writing. But once you have your list and your correct spellings, we are going to take that back to our paper and make our corrections. And so I encourage you to use this skill with the rest of your writings, just because what we went over today is going to help you as a writer improve the quality of your writing. And you are doing so fantastic so far. And so I can't wait to see where your writing changes in the future. And I wish you the best of luck. Great job, Brennan.